So, first look of the day, Jun Shadow. Played it yesterday, doing like a series of testing one drops this week, I guess. So we tried Dragon's Rage Channeler earlier in the week. We played Hex Drinker yesterday. Today playing some Ragavans. Just trying to see which of these one drop threats kind of sticks. Throw enough things at a wall, see what happens. Out of the rest of the main, not really much has changed. We swapped out 3 Hex Drinkers, second Assassin's Trophy for 4 Ragavans, moved the second trophy to the sideboard. I was going to try to find room for the 4th Spell Bomb. I guess I'm just going to keep it as is. Yeah, it's probably fine. We'll figure it out as we go. Either way, rest of the main deck, 7 pieces of Hand Disruption, 2 Battle Rage, 4 Mishra's Baubles. Been where we've been for a while. The 1 Assassin's Trophy in the main was a Dismember yesterday, but ran into like Tron and a bunch of Chalice of the Voids and things like that, and I kind of wanted to just try out an Assassin's Trophy in the main. That paired with 9 more pieces of 1 mana spot removal. Great against opposing Ragavans as well as like Dragon's Rage Channelers, things like that. 4 Scourge, 4 Goy, 4 Shadow is our primary threats, and then 1 Dark Confidant and 4 Ragavan is like our filler spots. And yeah, that's about all we got. So let's go ahead and jump into our first league. Shadow, Ragavan, and play. Phone notifications in the background. Alright, round 1, what do we got? Dogfish, what's up? Alright. Something cool. Love to play first. Ragavan in the opener. Guess we gotta keep it. It's a reasonably functional hand. Like, I really want this Ragavan to connect so I can play something good next turn. Would also like to find a second land. I do think on the play, I really like the upside of just like playing turn 1 Ragavan. If it sticks and gets to hit, or if he plays a 1-drop creature and I get to push through, then I'm in really, really good shape. Second land is great. Go ahead and start off with an attack. Like now, if I get to Thoughtseize plus play a Scourge, Breeding Pool. Like, if he didn't do anything about the Ragavan turn 1, I'm kind of assuming he doesn't have anything for it. So, Shardless Agent and a Violent Outburst. We're against Living End. Got plenty of cyclers. So I think we're taking one of the outburst effects. exiled a breeding pool, so like maybe it's a little bit tougher for him to get red and or green and blue. Does find a second land. So if I bolt him, I'm hitting for 10. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Means he can crack this fetch land, but if he finds another fetch, he can't crack it. Curator of Mystery. If I could cycle that, I 100% would, but alas, I cannot. And I'll just keep this Scourge in hand in case he does get off a Shardless Agent this turn. If he finds a fetch land, he can't crack it. Can't shock in. It's like maybe that ends up being our saving grace. I can push my own Skyclave, which I'll probably end up doing. But we've got like 3 more bolts, a Seal of Fire. Alright. They're probably dead if he's cycling here. Yeah. Alright, so we've got 3 Nihil Spell Bombs and 2 Void Mirrors that we're for sure bringing in. I don't think I really want anything else. They're gonna have to show me something like Leyline of the Void before I respect it. Poured out some of our less than stellar removal. I just board out like the 2, or I guess like Seal of Fire is fine. You just board out an Unholy Heat. Go like this. Okay. Get our baubles out of the way before our Void Mirror. Get a Thoughtseize to potentially interact with their hate for the mirror. Shadow's not bad. So we're just taking Outburst. Am I taking Outburst? If I find a second land and just like slam Void Mirror, I don't care about either of these cards. It's like maybe I just want to take something like Subtlety. Or I can take the architects and just say, like, you're stuck with this. I kind of like taking the architects, honestly. Just cut off a draw. Alright. Do need to find a second land. Yep. We played Tarn, which means I can just freely get down Void Mirror this turn. The next turn I can get down a couple threats. I gotta find something to deal with this subtlety, but if I get something hard casted before they evoke it, then I don't have to worry about them like bouncing it the turn after. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go Confidant Shadow here. Grasp seems decent, probably competes with Terminate. Is that the new removal spell? Rewinder Wraith, sure. Curator, sure. That like the new 1 in a black removal spell? Alright, so if I attack with... Yeah, I think I'm attacking with both. Because if they want to flash in a subtlety and block the Confidant, I'm good with that. You have to be a little careful about like back to back. I guess, alright, so lead on Tarmogoyf. Because if they subtlety this, I just get to slam Scourge. Yep. Infernal Grasp is the new one. We'll put Tarmogoyf on the bottom. And Scourge. Sego. Oh no, their hand is Violent Outburst, Living End. 3 unknowns. Three unknowns. Let's dash Ragavan. Yep. Tickle away. Yep. Alright. The dismantling of Living End. So, if we had had Chalice there instead of Void Mirror, they could have evoked a subtlety on like our Shadow or Confidant. And I think that's about the only thing it would have changed. What's that deck even good against? Well, it's called Living End. I don't know if you've heard about it, but good against a lot of things. Not thrilled with it, but I don't really want to mulligan it in the Luris Mirror. We'll find out if we're against like Hammer Time or if we're against something else. Evoke is still 0 though, right? Not if you evoke like a Subtlety or something. No, it's still a 4 CMC spell. If it gets around Chalice, it's just you're paying 0 colored mana for it, so it doesn't get around Void Mirror. Archive Traps. Mill. Flip over double. Alright, calm down, opponent. Just a game. Gotta take a turn 1 Visions of Beyond. Alright. Game plans now get back Luris. Got that covered. The draws are good. Alright, so we've milled over Mountain is our only fetchable. Hey Drew, how's it going? Sanity's Swamp. There's no going. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and get this fetch out of the way for an Overgrown Tomb. They top decked an Archive Trap this turn. Sucks, but... if they top decked an Archive Trap. Oh, man. We do still have our Swamp, so I can Luris plus Shadow this turn. Do have Luris targets. Alright, that's pretty good. Every time I watch Steven play and he's got rough luck, I at least get to say mine is reasonably comparable. Not always as bad, but there. Alright, so I just want to get back, like, I guess Scourge is fine. Is there any reason to dash a Ragavan here? Does that do anything for me? Don't think it does enough. Mil Tasha's shouldn't have been printed. It's a pretty pain card, isn't it? So hoping this is Luris. They have the fetch land. So if I'm gonna trophy, I need to trophy in response to the crab. Just kill the Luris. Alright, let's think. If I let the Ruined Crab resolve, and they've got a fetch land, then they play the fetch. If they crack it, I respond. Whichever threat they have, they're forced to chump next turn. If I Assassin's Trophy the Luris and they mill me for 6, I get my 1 draw. Is there any way I can piece together lethal there? Only if my last draw is... Or no. I trophy Luris. They go get a land, doesn't matter. Crab comes in. They mill me. I untap. Draw my last card. Catacombs. Fetch. Fail to find. Go down to 10. Dash Ragavan from the yard. Using Peat land. Go to 9. Shadows a 4/4. Luris Ragavan adds up to 9. Scourge adds up to 9. So yeah, I need to kill Luris. Can't have them gain the life. Alright, we're definitely dead now. Thoughtseize. I could just draw into like any one of those as well. All right. Oh, fun times. Fun times. So, Void Mirror could stop Archive Trap. K-Command's okay, but I really don't like having 3-mana spells. Those are just so likely to flip over like a couple of our shock lands or Shockland basics, something like that. We don't have that many fetchables. But I could make an argument for like bringing in these and just cutting all the green stuff and saying I don't need green mana, but Tarmogoyf is like one of our better beaters. Alright, so Seal doesn't hit one of the crabs. Holy Heat's fine. Ragavan's fine. Don't bring in K-Command. Take out Trophy. I could take out a Battle Rage. Like this. I don't think I want Unholy Heat. I'd like rather we just keep the second Battle Rage and 1 Unholy Heat. Yeah, I agree on not needing Trophy or K-Command. Alright, what do we got? So, the problem with this hand is if he just has turn 1 crab, I lose. Like, I can't race turn 1 crab with turn 2 goif on the draw. This is significantly better. Let's get rid of Confidant. Revolver goif. Confidant. Just go ahead and kill the crab. Yeah, if that hand had like a Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt, Inquisition, something like that, I'd probably keep it. But without any of those things, got a ship. Relic of Progenitus. I feel like that's not the one you want in your what's that card? The name of that card? The Visions. Yeah, Visions of Beyond deck. They did get our Overgrown Tomb, which is a little annoying. Right. What if it had 4th goif that last hand? 4 goif, 3 land, like snap keep, easy. First hand. So all we gotta do is beat double Fatal Push. Gotta do is beat single Fatal Push. Usually they have Soul Guide Lantern. Soul Guide makes sense. Relic seems eh. Like Relic in your Visions of Beyond Luris deck. Even better. So, I guess I'm just dashing this because it, like, makes him use the push. Right? No. We can just cast it. He's going to use the push anyway. And I can Spellbomb and hold up Spellbomb activation. Like, if he's gonna Fatal Push my Ragavan, I might as well get a card out of it. Alright, that's half of my library gone. Alright, so 2... What have we got? 3 Goifs gone. 2 Scourge. 3 Scourge. 3 Shadow. Confidant. Does in fact have power and toughness. Probably gonna end up just cracking this peatland. The only other green card left in my deck is a 4th Tarmogoyf. Scratch that peatland idea. So Blood Crypt, Stomping Ground, Overgrown Tomb, all gone. How would my basics look like? Got Swamp Mountain. Forest. Forest is still in the deck. Lay out Spellbomb in case he's got a Visions of Beyond. He's got. Do you have double visions? No, drown. Do I still have another shadow? 1 Ragavan, 2, 3. So our last set of cards are like a Ragavan, a shadow, 3, 4 lightning bolt. Oh, these are so easy to see, really. I'll Goyf this turn. But if I draw one of like my 3 remaining 1-drops, I can double spell next turn. Never mind. Okay, so is 4's right. Did I miss a shadow? 1, 2, 3. I did. Oh. Game 3. I'm gonna keep it the same. Alright. We can hit our hand disruption without needing to fetch right away. Sanity. Going into a crap. Alright. Kill spell for a crab. My If I play Goyf, you can untap and drown. I think I'm gonna Thought Seize the Fractured Sanity, play Spell Bomb, and then next turn I can play Goyf, holding up Drown myself and draw a card. What's your opinion on the new Innistrad Black removal? The 1 in black, kill a creature, lose 2 life. I mean, I think it like replaces Terminate if you're running Terminate. If you're not running Terminate, for me, I don't think it replaces what's it called? I don't think it replaces Assassin's Trophy. Did get Stomping Ground. My Tarmogoyf. This metagame seems very good. I mean, I'd still say like Unholy Heat's better in the current metagame, because you do get to hit Ragavans and Channelers before turn 2. But certainly not bad. There's 22 cards gone. Good times, good times. Okay. If you block, we're battle raging. I want to get the damage through. Now, keep up. Keep land. People are not running Dismember anymore. I ran a Dismember yesterday and it felt fine. I already get my mountain. I just have 2 red sources, so it doesn't matter. You dare archive trap me. God! No! Had the archive trap. Oh, archive trap. Like, you can kind of race the actual mill spells with your hand disruption and threats, but crabs are so rough for you. Especially just like a turn 1 Hedron Crab or Ruined Crab that goes unanswered. It's like it's an early game mill effect. It's a late game blocker when you need to push through damage. And you can look up on turn 4 and realize that like a Hedron Crab's milled 21 cards. What do you got? Basic Island Go. Riptide Laboratory. If this doesn't smell like a counterspell, I don't know what does. Don't say deck. Spell stutter. Ah. Doesn't smell like a counterspell, smells like 3 counterspells. Any chance you try to bounce this and save it? Like, I can't even play a Scourge if I did get an opening there. Pretty rough. Alright, Cryptic Command. Counterspell, counterspell. Unknown. Alright, so how about one more piece of hand disruption? Does let me double spell. I shouldn't have played that land out first. I should have just played Scourge. Counterspell, counterspell, bunch of unknown. Probably means like another Cryptic Command. I wonder if this is like actually fairies or if it's just blue-black control. Because it looks like just blue-black control. Riptide to bounce Spell Stutter and like Jinky said, Snapcasters. All right. Architects of Will Wizard. I'm not sure. Let's find out. It is a wizard. Snap counterspelling. It does mean I can get down Luris here. Yeah, they do have Luris, which I mean makes sense if they're just running Spell Stutter and Snapcaster. Oh, they're Esper. I mean, there's like a big Teferi in my future. Or that. Ugh. Battle Rage off the top. Battle Rage, but not a series of cards I'm unhappy with either. You got a Wrath Effect. You got a Wrath Effect.
No matter how beastly and huge dinosaurs were, the fact remains that they went.
Play out the Confidant over the Goyf here because they need to deal with these or they die. If they deal with these, I'd rather have Confidant as my like living threat than Tarmogoyf. Like this one's gonna get me a lot more value if it lives. I think this is flash in like double Spell Stutter Sprite. Singular Spell Stutter Sprite. Tarmogoyf. There's a Death Shadow. Go about Bloodstained Mire. Like I said, I'm not playing around Damnation game 1. Their hand is just like loaded with counter spells. I can't afford to keep playing one threat at a time. I've just got to put this out and say, I hope it's enough to kill you. This double Riptide start did hurt them really, really bad with counter spells. a triple counterspell cryptic command. I'm building a Grixis Pox list. Gonna play it next time I go to Modern Night. Seems okay, just slow. What all is included in a typical Grixis Pox list? So they can have Cryptic Command to tap me down. There's like the reasonable assumption here. Yep.
No matter how beastly and huge dinosaurs were, the fact remains that they went extinct.
And it's playing very weird. Think so. I don't want to just trophy this. I guess I can fight over it later. God, what is this paragraph? Adcom, my goif. This is my goif. There are many like it, but this one is mine. My goofer is my best friend. I must master it as I must master my life. Without me, my goofer is useless. Without the thick father, I am useless. I must cast my Tarmogoyf as an 8-9 chonk. Before God, I swear this creed. My goofy boy and myself are defenders of my plane. We are the masters of that thick booty. We are the saviors of modern. So be it until there is no enemy but peace. That was fantastic. Why are you playing Spell Stutter and passing? Like, if you've got another cryptic command, then you attack with the Spell Stutter. That was epic. Aya's Guile. Okay, so I'm going to think about my response real quick. I've got, they're gaining up to 10. No, no. Opponent said gotta go with a little heart emote under it. No. Boo! Boo! Oh man. Opponent didn't even scoop the match. They like just left. So I guess we get to talk about what we would be sideboarding here. Spell Bombs because of Snapcaster, K Command because it's a grindy go long game. Cut some Ragavans. Or not Ragavans, Battle Rages. Probably cut like a Ragavan. Got a Seal of Fire for sure. Gotta push. I don't want K-Return unless I see Bitter Blossom. And I didn't see it, so I don't know if they're actually on it or not. But if I saw Bitter Blossom, I'd bring in K-Command and Engineered Explosives. But yeah, Dogfish, we would just kill the creatures and kill them, like sack the Confidant, kill a dude. Probably just kill one, like sack the Confidant, bolt the Spell Stutter, and we just have lethal coming through. Alright, well, since opponent didn't concede the game, they just left. Right there. They just... Went by. I frowning faced. It was fun. So I guess while Moto has to count down from now until Oblivion, we're gonna sit here and stare awkwardly at ourselves. Because we're not scooping. Grew up, dressed down, shadow. Could do that. Let's see. Stream Decker. Start with Spike's list. So this was Spike's list. Should be the one that he played today. That looks right to anybody that was watching the stream. Sit here for a while. Turn 3 kill today with 2 shadows and dress down on the battlefield. So I guess the argument there would be like, if you got 2 shadows out on turn 2, you're probably just winning regardless of dress down. Just sit there and look pretty. I'm doing it right. Dave's stream felt overboarded for artifacts. So let's see. 3 EE, 3 Hercules recall for the artifact decks, maybe. Like, I don't know if I want 3 engineered explosives. When does this sack? Getting at the end step. So you can like play this in on the end of turn 2. Draw your card, untap, play a Croak set, sticks around, plus like Thoughtseize or something. Somebody give me like the common play patterns they saw. Like, I'm assuming that's more popular than like turn 4 dress down plus Croxa. A lot of lines come from OP's incept casting of dress down. Makes sense. Like just recognizing the timing of that trigger. Dress down, then play Uro. There you go. The real tech. Just imagine if Uro had been legal for a few more months. Those constructs does kill constructs. So all the constructs lose the ability to get buffed by other artifacts and just kind of die off. Good versus elementals. So just like making them lose like their evoke triggers. So you can cast this in response to an elemental getting evoked. Not with like the evoke trigger on the stack after it's resolved, but like while it's on the stack before. You know what I mean. You got it. How much longer do we have to wait here? A while. Oh, Balthazar. Why couldn't you just concede the match? Why are you doing this to us? I don't know, like missing how to explain my thoughts here. I don't know if I like missing out on the first Croxa trigger But I do like the idea of just having a 2-mana 6/6 that has a great attack trigger. So that's a plus. Obviously, we're not playing Scourge with Dress Down.
Creative in one way or the other. A lot of people feel like they have a book in them, or they have a song in them, or they have a TV show. And
6
you can
shocks.
talk about that all you want.
8, no, 10 fetches.
But until it is actually reality, it doesn't count.
13 Power Shadows are nice too. 13 Power Shadows are nice. Weird with Monkey Dash. So you would dash in the monkey, and then would it not trigger dash into turn? Oh, loses haste. Interesting. Really interesting. 0 K commands. I do like me some K commands.
I half wrote, but never quite finished, and never.
So you're paying 2 mana to have a Ragavan bounce back on your opponent's instep.
So it kind of doesn't count until you finish it and then put it out into the world. Now, I'm not saying put crap out into the world, but there comes a time when finishing and moving on, I think, is vital. Otherwise, you're just holding on.
So how long have we been sitting here? Like 6 minutes. I don't know what the timer is.
As any sort of creative person, you need to finish things.
It won't go back either until the instep trigger on... It does go back on your instep? Wouldn't this have to trigger on your instep? Or does dash trigger from hand? Like put a delayed trigger out. Dress Down, then Phyrexian Dreadnought or Hunted Horror. Hunted Horror. Hunted Horror, now you're on to something.
That cliche.
2 mana, was it 8/8 Trampler?
Yes, it can always be better.
Card
But
Hunted.
you have to finish it. You have to put it out because
7/7 Trampler. Sorry.
Talking about
Sorry.
and you're not the guy doing it. You get better by doing it.
That's pretty funny.
Learning from that process, then moving on to the next.
Maybe that's what we need to brew up, just like a full-on Dress Down deck. Some of those other random stifle cards here and there. Lose to Spell Snare.deck. How many Spell Snares have you realistically seen since Counterspell got printed? B-Mick, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Friday so far. For everybody hanging out, we're just waiting for our last match to time out. Our opponent, we were going to win game 1. Our opponent left after game 1, like at the end of game 1, and sent a message that just said he's got to go. But he didn't concede the match. He just like disconnected and left. So now we have to sit here waiting for his side to time out so we can move on to our next match. Like, opponent just straight said, gotta go, left, and then conceded the game and disconnected, but didn't concede the match. So, I was told to come here for shadow lessons. That's a dangerous thing to be told. But I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. Only like a few people here and there that I could imagine sending you this way for shadow lessons. But we do play a lot of Shadow on the stream, so that's a plus. Or at the moment, we do a lot of hanging out, waiting for our next match. See, I feel like you can definitely just cut the Hercules. I could see that. Like, I think I would cut an EE. I like Pyrite Spellbomb. I want to play this card more. Cut like an EE and a Recall. Add something. Hey, Drew, how's it going? One of these. How many minutes does it take? It's been 10? There we go. All you gotta do is yell at Magic Online enough. See, Brock Smash just tuning in. How has Drown been performing for you? Talking about Drown in the Lock? Like, we're playing Jund Shadow this league. But if we're talking about Drown in general, I love it. I think the card's fantastic and, like, better than Counterspell a lot of the time. If you're talking about Dress Down, we haven't gotten to play it yet. I just realized there's a beat maker I follow that has a brand called Control Freak. There's a bunch of random control freaks out there. Like, there's a headphone company, I think. There's a company that does sticks for, like, gaming controllers. Like, if you get a nice, like, video game controller, there's little stick extensions you can get that are made by a company called Control Freak. Alright. So, probably Elementals. Spike put 4th Dress Down in the board. Makes sense. The opponent revealed a Kahira, so I'm assuming it's Elementals. If that's the case. It's a rough matchup. Solitude kind of messes us up hard. If they don't have a 1-drop, it's a lot better for us. I've been Drown in the Lock. I've been running a Soul Tie list and I've always been on the fence of the card. Like, I love it. There was a period when it got printed in, like, the older Grixis lists with Shadow and Gurmag Angler and Thought Scour, where people had the notion that if you were running Drown in the Lock, you had to run Thought Scour to, like, target them. And I don't think that's the case. So, Harbinger, Blind grabs Solitude. So I want to keep, or I want to Inquisition this turn, so I'll have double Solitude, or double Thoughtseize next turn. I can Unholy Heat a Skelemental. So do I just want to take Ephemerate? Like Ephemerate this turn, next turn, Thoughtseize, Solitude, Thoughtseize, Ephemerate. But then if he hits a 3rd land, he can Skelemental.
Earth's final pioneers will not venture into forgotten depths of the planet.
Let's take an Ephemerate for sure.
But into the cathedral of myriad stars.
Yeah, no problem. Good question. Like, Drown in the Lock's been one of my favorite cards since it got printed. I think it's vastly underappreciated. All right, that's a good draw. We might just shadow this turn. So, are we risking him drawing an untapped black source? All right, options. If I go take Ephemerate, okay, take Ephemerate, play Shadow. I'm down to 4 cards in hand. He can Solitude my Shadow, hit me with Skelemental. I ditch Unholy Heat, 3rd land. So, like, Sappy, Unholy Heat or Hold Up Unholy Heat is the fallback plan. I agree with that. But I'm trying to find out if there's a way that I can be proactive and not get punished super hard for it. Because I would like to get down the Shadow this turn. I think getting down the Shadow now and being able to attack next turn gives me the greatest chance of being able to win the game. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I don't want to take the Solitude and play Shadow when he can just ephemerate this and go get another Solitude. Like, that doesn't really accomplish anything for me. Now, am I going Unholy Heat this? He doesn't need a land if he's just getting a free evoke creature. Am I Unholy Heating? Altsy's Solitude. Jock in, play Shadow, go. Vesper Lark, Skelemental. If he... Is Kahira to hand? If he adds Kahira... Sure. Just go ahead and kill that while I can't get any kind of trigger off of it. Swing in. Alright, so got an unknown. If he draws into a Solitude. He can add Kahira and evoke it. Elemental doesn't do anything here. Right? Game 1. Like a little bug crawling on the webcam. And for lack of a better pun, it's bugging me. I just keep seeing him like running around up there. Alright, so Kozilek's Return for sure coming in. Maybe K-Command. Yeah, looking at Void Mirror as well. Just kind of like going down the list. I don't think I want EE. Yeah, Void Mirror for Evoke. I do want. Trim at least one Battle Rage. Because of Solitude. I might trim the second. I think Ragavan's pretty bad here, especially on the draw. Feel like that. To Rastanetto. Give me a pronunciation here. God, words are tough. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Friday so far. All right. We've got threats. Opponent mold to 6 on the play as well. Alright. Am I going highest upside of just playing Ragavan here? I think yes. They want to like evoke something to kill Ragavan. I'm good with that. Brock Smash, thank you as well for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Friday so far. Appreciate y'all stopping around and hanging out. Checking out some sweet Death Shadow action. One blue. EE on 1. So you're saying I'm going to get an attack in with a Ragavan. I can play that. Am I playing that, or am I just Inquisition Thread or Inquisition Void Mirror? Just do it. Like Nike said, just do it. Still thinking. Like, I'm definitely leaning towards Inquisition Void Mirror. Endurance is cool, but it doesn't really do anything for me. It's just a 3/4. Fight Bellows. Alright, so we take Risen Reef. Risen Reef. down Void Mirror. He wants to Spite Bellows to kill my Ragavan next turn. I get to follow it up with like Shadow Confidant. He's just gonna blow up EE. Awakener's kind of bad. Now he gets back Risen Reef. That's a pretty good one. See, so I'm building this janky deck for F&M, trying to decide if I should run Reign of Gore. Is there much life gain running around? I don't think there's much life gain. I haven't seen, like... God, I haven't seen Heliod in a while. Alright. So the attack end's pretty free, because if they trade off, then I get to Fatal Push. If they don't trade off, then I get the Treasure, and I can Fatal Push off that. So, if I Fatal Push the Risen Reef, they can Awaken her and get it back. If I don't Fatal Push the Risen Reef, I guess I can, like, play threat, go to their turn and make them make a decision off the Ephemerate. Like, if they target the Risen Reef, I can Fatal Push it. Is that good? Any consideration for a one of Blood Chief's Thirst for Murktide matchups, or is it too cute, expensive? So I played Blood Chief's Thirst for a while when the Boros Prowess decks were really popular. And like, it wasn't bad, but it was never great. They're just not gonna cast the Ephemerate. Why wouldn't you cast it on the Risen Reef? It's just like a free trigger and you're not attacking with this. Weird. But I think right now with like Blood Chief's Thirst was really good at that point because it was Prowess decks, Rakdos Shadow decks, and just like aggressive creature decks were all over the meta. But right now I think it's not quite where I want to be just because things are a little more diverse. So the reason that I'm not Fatal Pushing in response to this is if one of his last two cards is Ephemerate, then I want to Fatal Push the Spite Bellows if he goes to Ephemerate it. But my plan right here is to Fatal Push the Thunderkin Awakener. Void Mirror stops the back half of Ephemerate, but it doesn't stop the front half. So if he just went like, if he just cast... Alright, so let's think about this first. Yeah, Fatal Push the Thunderkin Awakener. And he has to block on the crackback. Yeah, it only stops the rebound. So he'd be able to protect his guy if he went to Ephemerate the Spike Bellows, then or if I went to Fatal Push something and he Ephemerated, he could protect it, which is the part that I don't want. Is him just getting like extra activations. And trade with Ragavan. Take 9. There's a Confidant. Makes sense. I always just had it as a hedge against Murktide and Big Teferi Jace. Yeah, like, if it's a local meta consideration, absolutely, go for it. Like, no problem with local considerations whatsoever. I do love that we got to, like, invalidate this EE this game. Why didn't I put Lurrus in hand? Because I want Confidant down. Like, if he finds an answer to Scourge, then having Confidant around and living is way more impactful for me than having a Lurrus in hand. Because I'm getting more chances of, like, drawing into a Lightning Bolt or a Seal of Fire or something like that. Easy. Like, I just wanted to give myself the most chances to, like, end the game right there if he did find an answer to Scourge. Blood Chief's pretty good against Stormwing. Like, it is, but at the same time, it's a 4-mana sorcery speed removal spell. And if that's what you're relying on to beat Murktides and Stormwings that both have, like, counterspell, spell pierce, things like that, and are likely playing them against you, it can be a little dicey. I'd rather have something 2 mana to answer their threats that they're casting for 2 mana. Like Terminate, Assassin's Trophy, maybe the new card when it comes out, something like that. Love Boomer John in the moment. So, I do have to point out the funny irony. Like, I love Boomer John for Ragavan, for Dragon's Rage Channeler, to Dolphy. Boomer John with 8 Modern Horizons 2 threats. I'm not saying you're wrong. I think those creatures are all, like, pretty good. But just calling it Boomer, like, cracks me up. Ragavan. Oh, what do I think of this? I don't. These are really awkward hands. Like, you've got Ragavan on turn 1, which is extremely good. If for your opponent to answer it on turn 1, they more than likely have to fetch or shock in some capacity, in which case you get down Scourge on turn 2. I would throw this back 100% on the draw. But since we're testing out Ragavan, we might as well test it in like a reasonably sketchy hand and see what happens. You're not always going to have your Ragavan in perfectly ideal situations. Bone Crusher Giant. I think I'm going to cast that. I think that's the second best hit I've had off of Ragavan behind my opponent's Niv Mizzet. I think we got a screenshot of that somewhere. We are the Ponza deck now. This one. There. That was Alpine mooning away my opponent's 2. I don't know where I put it. Alright, so Fury ditches Fire and Ice. So it's Rhinos. Land. This tap down a land play is significantly better on the play. And your opponent just like can't play their spells. Yeah, I think it's Temur Footfalls. Fury, Fire, and Ice should be a pretty good indicator of that. So they get some Rhinos here. I'm more than likely attacking into some Rhinos. Am I? Yeah. See what they block with. This should signal either Battle Rage or like a Lightning Bolt to the face. If you think Lightning Bolt, I think you double block with the 2 Rhinos. It could triple block. In which case I'll take a Rhino or take 2 Rhinos, get Scourge Shadow. But I do always think it's funny with this deck, like, they 2-for-1 themselves off of Fury. They, like, no value iced. And, still have 4 more cards in hand. Fury 1-for-1. Well, they exiled a card in their hand, played Fury to deal with our Ragavan and their own Bone Crusher. So we didn't use a card for their Bone Crusher. No need to push in combat, right? I mean, you don't have to. Just add the push. I was going to push at some point. All right. Like, did I need to push in combat? No. Did I know I was going to cast the push at some point and we happened to be inside of combat? Yeah. Okay, the F6 value is real. Nope. They're good attacks. We are gonna have to find an answer to a brazen borrower. Is this that red split card? I don't know if that's an instant or a sorcery. One that like bounces a creature. All right. We got. We can Luris Scourge next turn.
I had this dream a while ago. I was driving around town, doing a lot of usual stuff, but there was a cow looking like it was using tall wooden legs that appeared from time to time to say, like,
You got a Prismari command plus
you have my trust.
like fire.
When I was little,
Dead,
I
sure.
had a tree outside my bedroom window,
Got it.
and the moonlight
Dr. Dots.
ceiling, and sometimes
If that's what it is, I feel good for guessing. If that's not what it is, please correct me. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Friday. Alright, here's a Luris. Start replaying dudes. Oh yeah. We'll save hand for a turn. Maybe for some reason we want Revolt. I know we want it for the Brazen Borrower, so I shouldn't really say for some reason. Like we have a reason.
everything's gonna be okay.
I guess I should say for some reason we want Revolt and don't want them to know that we can Revolt.
Probably. It's hard to tell.
This has to be Fury, right? Is there any way that this isn't Fury? And they're just trying to get me to like block across the board and Fury down everything.
The feeling I get from this is waking up in the middle of the night from a nightmare that you thought was real but really isn't. These dreams are weird.
So if I go Scourge on the two Shardless agents, Goyf on a Rhino, take 4.
What's going on and why it was happening.
They can land Fury, kill the Luris, kill the Goyf. And then I've got Scourge versus Fury Rhino. Could be Violent Outburst. That's fair. So if it's Violent Outburst, then it's Scourge, Goyf, take 5, and he gets 2 more Rhinos. It is Violent Outburst. You want to do a deck tech on a non-shadow list? I mean, I will. I'm not gonna go and say like I'm gonna have the best take and I'm gonna know everything about the deck and it's gonna be perfect and blah 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 blah, but I will. Alright. So we're definitely attacking with a Scourge. Are we attacking with both Scourges? I think yes. I think I'm swinging both Scourges. And if he chooses... well, if we swing in both Scourges and he's got a way to deal Luris, we're dead on the crackback. So he's swinging with 1 Scourge, offered a trade for a Rhino. Or he just doesn't block. Interesting approach. Let's see. Really just wanted you to see the mess I'm playing tonight. Well, let's take a look at it. Alright, red black Asmo. We got Spyros, Grieve, Croxa, Fury, Daredevil. Only 3 Daredevils. Shadow Spear, Saga, Inquisition. This is like a nightmare to look at. Why is there a rack in here? Tutor target for a Saga that just like... That's pretty spicy. I like that rack inclusion. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like a fun pile. Would I ever play it? Probably not. Do I think you're gonna have a blast and a half? Yes. Alright, so opponent scoops. After the game, we'll get into a more in-depth deck tech. But at first glance, it looks pretty hilarious. Alright, so EEs, Void Mirrors for sure. Not really much else I'm interested in. Board out. Seal of Fire doesn't kill Rhinos. Board out of Battle Rage because of Brazen Borrower. In the last couple cuts. Board out like Unholy Heats because they're not guaranteed to kill a Rhino. Or I guess Ragavan on the draw. They've got a lot of 2-mana ways of dealing with Ragavan, not a ton of 1-mana ways. Maybe I could have boarded out a 3rd Ragavan and kept in like Seal of Fire or something, or kept in the extra Battle Rage. Let's use Confidant. So, Confidant's like for sure dying. So if this is a 6-card hand, if I top deck a Void Mirror, I'm really happy with it. If I top deck a Shadow, I'm happy. Sure. Well, now it just look like geniuses for taking out, or no, we didn't take out Unholy Heat. No.
You know, just like, that's how it came out.
Spin the football.
Now let's make it better. But, you know, just writing
we're geniuses.
rather than from a place of fear.
We are geniuses.
Where you're just grateful for any idea that comes along.
Anybody who's ever doubted us. Anybody who's ever doubted us. Go away.
It's not about the ideas, it's about how you support the ideas.
Game's easy. Game is easy. As you were. Don't even care. Don't even care. I want to get down Confidant. We'll get down Shadow. Outburst, Flay Line, Unknowns. Their best draw would be like a Brazen Borrower here. If they have a Brazen Borrower, we might just like lose on the spot. Bounce my Shadow. Sure. That is not a Brazen Borrower. Hey, it's Anthony. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Friday so far. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out and checking out some sweet Death Shadow action. Their hand is still Violent Outburst, Void Mirror. Our hand is... We're going to present Lethal next turn. Here's a Scourge. Yeah. Yeah. Understandable opponent. I wouldn't want to be part of that either. Alright, so what do we think of that league? Back here. Where's my K command? Just move over. Where are you? There. Alright. Breakdown of that league. Opponent had enough. Yes, they did. Ragavan was pretty good that league. Like, I wouldn't call it phenomenal. We boarded it out more than I would board out, like, Dragon's Rage Channeler. Because if our opponent just had, like, one drop guys, Ragavan's pretty bad. But when we were on the play, Ragavan lived, it got the hit, it did enable some pretty good turn twos. Shadow, Scourge were both great that league. We didn't run into like Tron. We didn't have Scourge stuck in hand a lot that league. And I think when you don't have Scourge stuck in hand, this deck gets infinitely better. Tarmogoyf was good. I don't think we might have cast the Assassin's Trophy once, or we could have used it against the blue-black control player and just like didn't need to. So I don't have a strong opinion on where Trophy's positioned at the moment. Seal of Fire probably could have been something else. I've been pleased with it in the past, so I'm not upset with that slot. Maybe if you wanted to go like 8th hand disruption spell, you could do that. In the sideboard, Spellbomb was great. Void Mirror was fantastic. EE we didn't see. Alpine Moon we didn't need. Ancient Grudge we didn't need. K-Return we didn't need. We brought in K-Return in the Elementals matchup. Just like didn't see it, didn't need it. Trophy, same as the one on the board. K-Command we didn't bring in at all. And then Laris's Arc Companion. So overall, I thought the deck felt pretty well. So I was pretty pleased with that league.